The AP style chain rule is continuing on section 2.4, and for the first example we're presented with a table of values, sort of like the other previous video. And for these AP style questions, all you can really do is just rely upon the definition. So you don't really know what functions these are, but you don't really care because you're just given enough information to be able to solve it. Now to find the derivative, since you have f with g of x inside of it, h prime of 2 is going to be based on the chain rule. It's going to be f with g of 2 inside, and you multiply that by g prime of 2. This is almost the exact definition of what the chain rule is, except you're going to plug in 2 inside of it. So it's going to be f prime g of x times g prime. And from there you look at the table of values to figure these out. G of 2 is given to us as 2. It's going to turn into f prime of 2. G prime of 2 is given to us as negative 3. And then f prime of 2 is given to us as a third. So it's going to be 1 over 3 multiplied by negative 3. So h prime of 2 is just going to be a negative 1. And that's the derivative value. Moving on to part B. This time I have y is equal to the square root of f of x minus g of x. And I want to find the derivative evaluated at 3. Well, y prime of 3, since I have f of x minus g of x inside a radical, I have to use the chain rule. So all of this is being raised to the 1/2 power. So this is going to be f of 3 minus g of 3 to the 1/2. So the outermost portion is being raising to the 1/2. So that's going to go first. So it's going to be 1/2. Keep the inside the same. Subtract the power by 1. This is going to be f of 3 minus g of 3. And then the chain rule says multiply that by the derivative of the inside. So the inside is going to be, so we don't know what f, we don't know what g are. It's going to be f prime of 3 minus g prime of 3. So the inside portion of the chain rule is f of 3, g of 3, turned out to be f prime of 3, g prime of 3. Alright. And then from there it's just a matter of simplifying this. This is going to be 1 over 2. All this is a negative exponent, and it's a radical if it's to the 1/2 power, so it's going to be square root of f of 3 minus g of 3. And all that's going to get multiplied by f prime of 3 minus g prime of 3. And then I look up the table of values. Alright, so it's going to be 1 over 2 square root of f of 3 is given to me as 3 minus g of 3 is negative 4. And all that's going to get multiplied by the derivative value, so f prime of 3 is negative 6 minus g prime of 3 is 5. So simplifying all this, I have 3 minus a negative 4, so it's going to be 3 plus 4. So it's going to be 1 over 2 square root of 7. And inside I have, on this side, multiplying it by negative 11. So my derivative value is going to be negative 11 over 2 square root of 7. And that's what y prime of 3 is equal to, based on the chain rule. Alright, next example is, we're just given a set values. We're told a little bit something about f, a little bit something about f prime at 3, and we're told that y is equal to x squared e to the f of x, and we want to find a tangent line equation to y when x is equal to 3. So the very first thing I have to do is find the slope. And the way I find the slope is I evaluate my derivative at 3. And in order to find my derivative, it's going to be the derivative of x squared e to the f of x. Now I have a product, so I have to use the product rule to find this derivative. So my product rule says keep this portion the same, so it's going to be x squared. And now the derivative of e to the f of x. Chain rule says take the derivative of the outermost. So the derivative of e is itself e, and you keep the f of x the same. And then multiply that by what's on the inside. And the derivative of the inside is the derivative of f of x. So that's just going to be f prime of x. And then plus keep e to the f of x the same. And then multiply that by the derivative of x squared. So that's going to be 2x. So all of this was the derivative of this term. So the derivative of e is itself e to the f of x. And then the chain rule is the derivative of the inside. And the derivative of f is f prime. So to find out my tangent slope, I have to evaluate this at 3. So it's going to be f prime of 3, which is equal to 3 squared e to the f of 3. Multiply that by f prime of 3 plus e to the f of 3, and then 2 times 3. So this turns out to be a 9. F of 3 from the given information is we're told is going to be 0, so it's going to be e to the 0. F prime of 3 we're given to be negative 1/2. And I just realized I never closed this set of parentheses. Let me close these. Plus e to the f of 3, again we're told f of 3 is equal to 0, so it's e to the 0. And then you're going to multiply that by 6. E to the 0 is going to be 1. 1 times negative 1/2 remains negative 1/2. Times 9 is going to be negative 9 over 2. And you're going to add that to 6. So negative 9 over 2. Common denominators is going to be 12 over 2. So 3 over 2 is what my tangent slope is going to be. So now I have to use my tangent line, which is going to be y equal to mx plus b. The thing I don't know is the point, the y-coordinate. I know the x-coordinate is going to be a 3, but then to find the y-coordinate, I have to go back to the function that I was initially given and plug in 3. So it's going to be y of 3 is going to be 3 squared e to the f of 3. E to the f of 3, well, this is going to be 0, so 9 times e to the 0, which is equal to 9. So my y-coordinate is 9. So now plugging this into my tangent line, the y-coordinate is 9. The slope was 3 over 2. The x-coordinate is 3. I just have to solve for b. So it's going to be 9 equal to 9 over 2 plus b. And if I subtract this over, it's going to be 18 over 2 minus 9 over 2, which is going to be 9 over 2 is my b value. So my tangent line equation is y equal to 3 over 2x plus 9 over 2. Alright. And that's it for this video.